This year, I've failed, but not in the way you might be thinking. So let me just give you a bit of a backstory to me and my running journey so far. I started running about 2.5 years ago now, and in the last year is when I've properly taken it seriously. Every time I race, I'm competing for times now. That's allowed me to race even more, most importantly train even more, and I even competed in my very first cross-country season with my university. And ultimately, with me being a bit more intentional with how I train, how I race, and how I prepare for the races, this year I have PBs in every single race I've gone out for. And some of them might be by a few seconds, but most of them are by quite a big margin. I originally started running about halfway into my second year at uni, and it was mainly a way for me to lose weight and just to try and be a bit fitter and a bit healthier. So given all that, you might be asking, well, how have I failed? What are you on about? Well, first, let's head to the gym and then go and get a coffee. G'day. Could you get a regular black Americano, please? So given my success in racing this year, how have I failed? You see, this year decided to put everything on the line. Every race that I entered, every A goal was an extreme goal. And for some, they might see this as delusion, but I see it as ambition, as self-improvement, as growth. Given the state of my fitness at the start of this year, I wanted to see what I could do. And previously, in my first kind of year of running, I would constantly hold back my capabilities and the things I know I'm capable of. That's where this year I decided to change things. In my first year and a half of running, so from about March 2023 until December of last year, I hadn't really gone into training or races with a structured kind of running goals or ambitions. It was kind of just running. And when I realised I was quite quick, that's when kind of the obsession, I guess if you want to call it, took over. Going into the beginning of this year, in January 2025, my goal was to be a bit more intentional with how I was training, and my first goal was Manchester Marathon. After doing London Marathon in 2024, I came away with that with a fantastic experience. It was such a good race, even though it went horribly wrong for me. It was my first marathon. I made all the mistakes in the book as a beginner runner. I learnt from them and I came back stronger for this year. And Going into it, my goal was to run a 2:48 marathon, because that is where I believe my fitness was, not just what I thought I could run, but looking back at the data of how winter training went and previous training went, that's where I thought I could get to. However, I ended up rolling my ankle about a month out from the race, and I ended up having about 2 weeks of no training. The only thing I could do is cross train on the elliptical, on the bike, and do a lot of physiotherapy and rehab work. And because of that, I had to be realistic about my goals, and I was like, the next best thing is a sub 3 hour marathon. Sadly, I missed that by only 7 seconds, and it's absolutely heartbreaking, but I ran a 45-minute PB, and that's the thing I'm taking away from this. So given the slight disappointment I had in Manchester, my next goal was the London Soccer League 10k, and in all honesty, I'd set out the goal of running a sub 36. After Manchester, I did have a few issues with my ITB, and that kind of derailed things again. And after I found out that Ben Felton, was pacing someone from the Pro Direct running club to a sub 36 as well, I thought, right, let's just put it out there again, you know, try and stick with Ben and see what we can do. But my main target going into that race was just breaking my PB from the previous year of a 40:04. And again, I missed it by seconds last year, so I just wanted to get away from the disappointment of failing by a few seconds. And luckily I ran a 36:25, which is an almost 4-minute PB, an incredibly great achievement in just a year. But that's not all, because my main goal, and one of the, I guess, biggest challenges and boldest goals I decided to set myself this year, was during the summer, in which I had the target of wanting to run a sub 16-minute and 30-second 5k. At the start of the summer, I knew this was an impossible task, because my PB at that time stood at 18 minutes and 2 seconds. So I knew it would be incredibly tough. Before I started the actual training block for this 5k attempt, I'd done a few other 5ks just to see where my fitness was. And one race I'd done was with my club. It was Assembly League local club event, and in that I ended up running 17:39, I believe, can't quite remember, but I got somewhere in the mid-17s, and it gave me a little bit of a confidence boost, because I hadn't done any proper 5k work since probably November last year. I then decided to do Colchester 5k, which was around mid-August, and in that I ended up running a 17:09 5k. So again, my confidence was growing. During this training block, I was doing a lot more speed work, a lot more faster sessions, and trying to build strength. I decided to try and attempt this final 5k and get under 16:30 at the Mid Cheshire 5k because it was a fast course and it was my kind of best hope, I guess, to get the time I wanted. However, that didn't quite happen and I was a long way off my target. I came away from that race running a 17:04. So across this year, I've missed every single target I've gone out for. I'm making this video because a lot of people will still see this as failure, as these ambitions and these scary goals that I set myself as a failure when I don't achieve them. I say that by trying to better myself, it's given me the confidence to know I can do it. And within just a year, I've ran a 45-minute PB in the marathon, a 4-minute PB in the 10k, a 1-minute PB in the 5k, and most recently, which I forgot to mention, a 8-minute PB in the half marathon. And given all these bold, maybe delusional goals, it's put me in the place to back myself, giving me the confidence to put it all on the line. So what's next? Well, running this year has taught me a lot to do with myself as a person, but as a runner. So the focus from now until the end of the year is building strength, because after a series of injuries, rehab, injuries, more rehab, it's not only annoying because it holds my potential back. I'm missing training, but I'm spending a lot of money on rehab and physio appointments. So I'm getting in the gym and trying to improve my strength to hopefully go into next year with the ability to handle the training load. But my biggest focus will be the cross-country season, which starts in about 2 weeks. It'll be my first cross-country season with my club. Given all of the so-called failures of this year, we're finishing off the season and this year with some solid races and strength training to hopefully go into next year with the ability to handle training load and hopefully some brand new PBs. Most importantly, stride forward, stride further.